Hello, welcome. It's a new academic year and it's a new school term, and the Digital DJ Tips studios are open once again as we welcome you into our community and into our classroom. We're back and we are raring to go to help you with any aspect of learning to DJ that you need help with. If you're a Digital DJ Tips student or you're a regular to these shows, you know the score here. I'm Phil Morse. I'm the person behind the best-selling book on Amazon on how to DJ, which is called Rock the Dance Floor. You might have seen this book. It contains our 5-step process for how to learn to DJ, which we've taught to many tens of thousands of people over the last 15 years. But also, I'm the face that you will see on many of the DJ courses that we sell here at Digital DJ Tips. You'll also know that it really is an anything goes show when we do this. Most Thursdays we go live and do this, not every week nowadays, but we do it most Thursdays within the kind of semester term times, 3 big blocks of them in autumn and in spring and winter, autumn, winter, spring. So that's what we do. So I'm here for you really. The school's open. I've got no agenda. There's no pre-planned content here at all. It's just literally what you need help with in your DJing. So to give you a trigger, to give you something to get you thinking, we divide DJing into 5 big areas. Gear, the geeky stuff, right? So you've got a piece of gear, something about that gear is giving you issues, is causing you sleepless nights and heartbreak. Ask. I will try and help you. At the moment, we've got some Den and DJ gear here, but in the corner here, we have a pro setup. We even have some old-fashioned turntables. So really it is up to you to ask me what you want. We've got new gear as well that's appeared over the summer that we've yet to get to. We've got the Mix Tour from Reloop, which was designed by our very own Layback Luke Tutor here at Digital DJ Tips. Is behind this intriguing controller. So you could ask me some questions about that if you want. We've also got some new speakers, which are a desktop speaker. Here they are, this little IK multimedia micro monitor, but they've got a twist. So I'll be getting to that twist when we review these very soon. I've got a bit of a review catch up, but you might want to ask about speakers, talking about gear. And I've got this thing here. Now, this is the most intriguing thing we've been sent. This is like this little box called Density that works with Pro DJ gear, like this setup I have here. Also, it comes with its own software and it's for recording your DJ sets. But it doesn't record a note. It actually records what you do on the controls, and then when you bring it into the software, you tell it where your music is and it reassembles the whole set. So everything can be edited. Every knob you turned, every transition point. This is really intriguing. So I'm really looking forward to getting stuck into the Density hardware and software again very soon when we get a chance to, because I've got a backlog. I've been away all summer. The studio's been closed. So that's just gear. You might want to talk about music though, where you get your music from. You know, you can't get music on record anymore. Well, you can, but no one does. Certainly not for DJing with. So we get our music digitally. If you're new to this, you don't know where to get it, you don't know how it works, maybe you've got a collection and it's all a mess, you just ask, I'm here to help. Or our other areas of DJing. Mixing, you might need help simply with knowing how to do a good job of getting from one song to another. Performing, what to do in front of other people, and taking it further. Here at Digital DJ Tips, we've helped many DJs to take that big chunk of knowledge, right? Gear, music, mixing and performing, which is basically what you need to be a DJ, and then go in all kinds of directions with it. Maybe you want to make mixtapes. Maybe you want to DJ parties for your friends and family. Maybe you want to just make mixes for yourself. Maybe you want to live stream your DJ sets. Maybe of course, you want to play out. Maybe you want to play corporate, or you want to play mobile or wedding. Maybe you want to play in your local bar. Or of course, you want to play clubs and festivals. We've helped DJs with all of these things and more. So do ask away. Right, so there is the slightly extended version of the intro to Digital DJ Tips, to who we are and what we do, which is apt, seeing we haven't been here for a couple of months, and I know there'll be a lot of new people watching today. But as I say, now it really is a chance for you to ask questions. I'm here for at least half an hour answering whatever questions and queries you have about your DJing. So welcome people, lots and lots of our regulars in. So for those of you who don't know again how this works, I have a laptop here. I'm actually going to pull it here so I'm not bending my back around to get to your questions. I have a laptop here which is full of all your questions and comments that are coming in, and here you can see them all coming into me live. Lots and lots and lots of comments and questions. And so you ask on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, they come through to here. So don't be shy. Ask. Nothing too silly, nothing too advanced, nothing that I haven't seen before. I sound like a doctor, don't I? But honestly, I've seen and heard it all. So please don't feel silly. Ask your questions. I'm here to help. Okay, so let's just say hello to a few regulars who I've missed. I've missed chatting to the regulars. Hello to Mixmaster John Roback. Hello to Don. Hello to Mac and to Baynard and to Mixmaster G. My friend, how are you? I hope all is good over there. Hello to Cat's Groove and Kesha, to Mac Joseph, to Technobeat over there in the Philippines, who says, I'm back. Well, it's good to have you back, Technobeat. And good evening, good afternoon, and good morning. And yes, thank you, Mike. I did have a great holiday and a fantastic break. I didn't realize that you were back, but I'm glad that you are. Well, it is September now, I think, anyway. You lose track of time on holiday, don't you? It's a lovely, lovely feeling. Right, so questions, that's what we're here for. So, a lot of you are updating me on where you're at in your DJing, which is great. So Technobeat did just that. I finally got a new laptop. I currently have Virtual DJ. And I'm curious if a Denon DJ SC Live 4 will work with Denon DJ, with Virtual DJ without a license. Well, I think you need a license for Virtual DJ, but I'm pretty sure that that unit will work when you plug it into Virtual DJ as long as you own the software, is my answer to that question, if that's what you were asking. Hello, Michael, Girthy to his friends over there stateside, one of our OGs. Lovely to see you, my friend, and I hope all is well with you. And Michael has received his very special copy of our book. We'll keep that between ourselves, Michael, but I'm glad it arrived. So thank you very much to our team for reminding you that if you use the hashtag ASK, hashtag ask, it will help me to see your questions among the streams of comments that are coming in as well. So Mr. Brown Alliance says, hello, I used to be a DJ 30 years ago. I've been producing a body of work with my own music. I was looking at a controller to brush up on the DJ skills. Any recommendations? So Digital DJ Tips is all about helping people just like you, right? So my first recommendation seriously would be to just grab a copy of the book. You don't have to buy the book. There is a version of this book available on our website. Just head over to the Digital DJ Tips website, which you will find here. Let me just show you exactly where you'll find it. Go to digitaldjtips.com and then you'll see this page here. At the top of the page, you want to go to our book. And here you can literally read the whole book online. You can also grab a PDF of the book. So yes, I'd love you to buy the book if you find it useful. Always nice to have it on your shelf, right? But you don't need to. You seriously don't need to. My first piece of advice, just go get the book. It'll get you up to speed with the way it's done now compared to the way it was done years ago, right? And when it comes to the first controller that you should buy, the real tip that we give people is don't spend too much money, not immediately. The capabilities of just the most beginner controllers nowadays are absolutely mind-blowing. I'm looking for the one that we generally recommend to most people most of the time. And because I rushed into the studio, it's not here, but it's called the Flex 4, the DDJ Flex 4 from Pioneer DJ. It's not massively expensive. It's $200 or $300. It works with the two biggest software platforms, which you don't need to know any of this now, but I'm just telling you that it does, which are called Rekordbox and Serato. So you have a choice there. You're not locking yourself into anything. And it works with other software as well, but they're the two really biggest ones. And it'll give you everything you need. So this isn't the Flex 4, but it's about the same size. Oh, there it is. No, it's not. That wasn't it at all. This is about the same size. Right, so you're looking at a little box like this, right? It's got everything you need on it. That was upside down. I always do that. It's got everything you need on it. And so this really is where you want to start with something like this. The reason is that if you get the bug, if you decide that this is definitely for you, you probably will want to upgrade to more expensive gear later on, but you don't know what you want. You might want what are called a standalone system. This is a standalone system I have here. This is the Denon DJ Prime 4 Plus, a very expensive unit, but it doesn't need a laptop. It's a wonderful system. But you might not want that. You might actually think, you know what? I'm getting into this properly. I want pro CDJ units. I want a pro mixer. Or you might say, you know what? I don't want anything I've tried so far. I've really got into the idea of, insert something else here. It might be a different piece of software, like Tractor, for instance. It could just be an extremely capable laptop controller, right? Which is different to this kind of thing, because this kind of thing is designed to work without a laptop being present. You plug USB drives into it. So you don't know any of that stuff right now. Not a thing. And nor should you. Don't close your doors before you've peeked behind them, right? If you buy a cheapish controller, and I know $200 or $300 is a lot of money for a lot of people, but it's a lot cheaper than two or 3,000, you'll find it does more than what you need for many years. When you're at the point of upgrading, you'll be very sure what you want to upgrade to. And so at that point, what do you do with it? You've wasted $200 or $300, right? So surely buy what you want right now. Phil, this advice is bad, but it isn't, because as soon as you're DJing in front of other people, as we all know, you need a plan B, you need a backup system. What is that backup system? It's the thing you bought in the first place. You won't ever sell that. That'll stay with you, right? So you haven't lost anything. So that's my advice anyway. So thank you for the question. And we're up and running. It's always good to get up and running. We are now up and running. Questions are coming in thick and fast, and hopefully you're getting value from this. Do all the usual stuff wherever you're watching if you're enjoying this. But most importantly, you should join Digital DJ Tips. Digital DJ Tips is free to join, and you will get a lot of value from it. No need for me to go into any more detail there. People will tell you in the comments what it means to be a member of Digital DJ Tips and what we send you. It's great stuff. It's all free. So head to the website to do that and click on join at the top. Clicking on join will take you to this page here. There's my smiling face with the older version of the book. This picture has yet to be upgraded, and you can put your email address in there. This explains a lot about us, what we do, what we are, and so on. So you can learn a lot more about us by scrolling down there as well. Right, let's go grab another question. What have we got? This one has come in from, this is from Don, who says, how about a discussion on creating a daily practice routine to cover all the different physical aspects of DJing? Wow, one daily routine to cover every aspect of DJing. That would be quite ambitious, wouldn't it? I mean, DJing is such a holistic thing. It's got so many moving parts. You know, we break it down into those 5: gear, music, mixing, performing, and taking it further. But there's a million ways you could break it down. There's a million things you could be practicing. I think the most important thing, and this doesn't only go for DJing, this goes for any hobby. The most important thing is to remember that it's meant to be fun, right? This isn't a new job you're taking on. This isn't a new commitment that's going to drag you down. It's meant to be fun. And to realize that as long as you're doing it regularly, it's better than doing it just every now and then, you know, trying to do it for a long time every now and then. So what I mean by that is, if you are really into it, but you've got a busy life, we've all got busy lives, haven't we? And you say, you know what, I'm going to spend all day Sunday DJing. That's what I'm going to do. And you get really excited about it. You get to Sunday, and you've had a few drinks on Saturday night. Hey, someone invited you out. And so you get up a bit late, and then you suddenly realize you're not in the mood for it. And then something else happens. And then all of a sudden it's Monday morning. You did no DJing that week. So the best thing to do is to do it very, very regularly, even if it's only for a fraction of the time. I think it's a really good idea to just put a regular practice time of maybe half an hour or an hour in 5 or 6 times a week. Quite often at the same time of day can be useful, and put it in your calendar. Use a real calendar. I use the calendar on my phone. And so my family can see the calendar on my phone. They can see I've blocked time out, right? So treat it like an appointment, like you're going to the dentist or the doctor or something. You know, you wouldn't not do that. So if you treat it in that way, your mind kind of changes a bit. So when it comes to what you're actually going to do in that time, again, we could spend, and we do in our courses, we spend a lot of time in, this is coaching, right? This isn't so much learning how to DJ, it's how to make time for DJing and stay motivated and so on. So we spend a lot of time talking about this in our courses. But the single biggest thing you can do, if you're worried about, you know, getting the time in your calendar and being ready to DJ, and then you turn up and you get there and you're like, what am I going to do today? I don't know. The single biggest thing you can do to beat that feeling is to put something in your calendar where you are going to be performing in front of other people. And so it could be literally, I'm going to do a mixtape and share it with you, and you're going to get your mixtape on Friday. Or it could be, I'm going to do a live stream on Twitch. I'm going to figure out how to do that. It could be, I'm going to play a DJ set for my family, or I've committed to playing a party for my niece, or whatever. You know, of course it could be a gig. Doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter how big or how small. The point is, you commit to it and you tell other people. Because as that time ticks closer and closer and closer, you will know what you've got to do in order to play that event without making a fool of yourself. The fear of making a fool of yourself is an extremely big motivator. So you will know if you've got to get some new music because you're not happy with the music you've got. You will know if you've got to practice a few transitions, or you will know if there's something on your controller that keeps going wrong and letting you down, that you've got to finally dig out that instruction manual and figure out what it is. You will know if you've got to figure out how to plug your gear in at the place where you're going to be playing because you're not sure, so that when you get there, everything's going to go smoothly, right? Or if you're putting on your own little party or something, you know that you've got to do a bit of promotion to get people there. But as that time ticks nearer, you'll know what to do. So this idea of, what is my daily practice to get better? Your daily practice is to put something in your calendar to get to that point, to perform that thing, and then put something else in your calendar and get to that point. So your daily practice is leaping from public performance to public performance, because DJing is done in front of other people. Nowadays, that doesn't have to be physically in front of them because you could live stream. And nowadays, it doesn't even have to be in real time because you could do a mixtape and share it on Mixcloud or wherever. But it has to be delivering the goods, right? So if you're not delivering the goods, you're going to sit there twiddling your thumbs, not really having any purpose to what you're doing. So that's the biggest piece of advice I can give you on a daily practice for DJing. Make it count by putting something that you're working towards, a goal, and then little and often, and put it in your calendar. So let's go grab another question that's come in live from someone else. Just some good news from Rane, who says, I'm playing a sold out gig at an open air event tomorrow, 1,000+ people. Even if I have a lot of experience, I'm still open to advice. Well, if you've got any particular questions, Rane, and by the way, good luck, then please do ask, and I would love to help you. But if not, stay tuned in. Will you be interested in a class with Grandmaster Flash? Is that an offer, or are you saying, would we potentially do it? We always consider who we're going to work with. However, talking of absolute old school legends, we've got a second course coming up with DJ Jazzy Jeff. So you might know that we've already worked with Jeff. We've done a how to DJ course. Well, guess what? We're doing a how to scratch course with Jeff, where he teaches old school scratch techniques on old school gear and with old school music. How cool is that? More on that later, but thank you for triggering that thought for me. Let's grab another one then. I'm a little confused, says Larry over on Facebook. Hello, Facebook crew. Larry says, I'm a little confused about the playout of DJ.Studio since there's no dedicated hardware for it. Any videos on it? Right, DJ.Studio is a piece of software that lets you create DJ sets away from DJ gear, because the idea is you don't perform on DJ.Studio. The idea is you take the tunes that you want to put into your DJ mix, you drag them all using your laptop into the software, and you press a few buttons and you do a few things, and you end up with a really nice sounding DJ mix at the end of it. In a nutshell, that's what this piece of software called DJ.Studio. You can find it at DJ.Studio, by the way, what this piece of software called DJ.Studio does. It does a lot more than that, an awful lot more than that. But essentially, it's not trying to replace Serato, Record Box Tractor, and so on as a performance tool. It's something that lets you come up with a DJ mix without actually having to physically stand there and mix it on your gear. So that's why you don't see gear for DJ.Studio, because that's not what it's designed to do. So that's probably where you're getting confused. It's not DJ software in that sense. It's more like the software, funnily enough, for this little box that I just showed you, which is a similar thing that records your what you're doing and lets you then go and edit it. So this is kind of similar in that way. But DJ.Studio lets you, in the same way that the software for this density thing, I'll call it a thing for now till I figure out what it is, lets you do, you can edit, right? So you can say that transition's not working, so you can move it a bit, or you could introduce stems and take them out again, or you could try different effects or different volume levels. You can tweak a mix. And so there's two ways this can go. Way number one, you could produce like an hour mix in 20 minutes, which can be really useful if you're a DJ who plays on the radio, or you've just got a load of new tunes and you just want to slam them together, stick them in your headphones, go out for a run, listen to them all and decide how you're going to use them, right? So the idea of making a DJ mix where the actual mix takes less time than it would have taken to play the songs in the first place is very appealing. Or you can go the other way. you can spend way longer than it would have taken to play the songs and tweak every transition, tweak every part of the mix and come up with something that maybe would have been very hard to do live. So a lot of DJs use Ableton Live to do that. So Ableton Live is the classic production software, right? Where you could do that, you know, you can drag sounds in, you can use MIDI and so on, add effects and mix it, but you could also just drag whole tracks in, literally just drag a few songs into Ableton Live and move them around on the timeline. A lot of DJs have used that in the past. Think of DJ.Studio as a custom version of that designed just for DJs, right? It's one way of looking at it. So that's why you can't find gear for that piece of software. So thank you, Larry, for that question. This is from Jason. Jason says, a DJ friend of mine wants to get back into DJing after seeing some guy DJ on a £250 controller. He's an old vinyl DJ and he's not that technically minded with computers. The only gadget he has is an Android phone. What would be his best bet for getting back into mixing tunes? It's a really good question, Jason, and a lot of DJs are like that. A lot of people know how to DJ, but they used to use turntables and a mixer. And probably not a mixer like this, because a mixer like this didn't exist back in the day. The kind of mixer they would have used back in the day would be something more like this here, an old Technics DX1200 mixer. This was the official World DJ Championship mixer back in the day. Now it looks almost laughably simple, but hey, a lot of DJs for several generations were happy to DJ on 2 turntables and a mixer just like that. Where do you start? Where literally do you start if you know how to DJ but you have no interest in the technology nowadays? So I taught my 10-year-old daughter to DJ. She's 12 now, but she was 10 then, because she wanted to play her end of school term party. And we kind of came up against some of the same things that your friends come up against, Jason. She didn't want to go and get a laptop and download some software and start buying music from, you know, Beatport and then importing it all into her software and then getting that plugged into a controller and then figuring out various transitions and stuff. She's 10. What she wanted to do was play the songs that she loves, and the one thing she knew better than me, the one thing that she had me was wiping the floor with me with, was the tune selection, right? I couldn't advise her on that. I just told her to gather together all the tunes that her and her friends like. But she didn't even want to buy the tunes. Of course she didn't. One, she hasn't got any money, and the idea to a 10-year-old, the idea to a Gen Z or a Zalpha kid of even downloading music is crazy, right? So it was all about streaming services. So she needed something very simple. It needed to be able to just plug into a streaming service and grab music, and then she needed to be able to do 2 or 3 simple transitions to get started. So Jason, your friend isn't going to struggle with the transitions because they've DJed before, right? They're going to find it a lot easier to use modern gear, because it is easier to use modern gear. But they don't want the laptop, they don't want the even having to go and buy music necessarily, certainly not when they're getting started. The unit I recommend, and that I've recommended to many people and that I use with my daughter, is this one here. It's almost singular in how appealing it is to the kind of DJ we were just talking about. It's the Numark MixStream Pro. This contains speakers. It's got the computer built in, so there's absolutely no need to have a laptop with this. It's got Wi-Fi, so it can connect to a streaming service like Tidal. And so you can get all your music into this without having to worry about ever having a computer. You go onto your Android phone, you get the Tidal app, you subscribe, you start making playlists and so on. When you open this and log in, they're all there. And it's got a simple 2-channel mixer, very intuitive jog wheels, simple effects, filters, EQ. It's got everything you could possibly need, and it's very, very simple to get used to this. I taught my daughter to use filters, I taught her to use echo out, and I made sure she knew how to put her tunes on this, and she rocked that party. She played for 3 hours. Even better, when she was there, people were asking for tunes they didn't have. Her friend had her phone and was going onto Tidal, finding the tunes that they didn't have, putting them in the playlist, and my daughter was dialing them up live and mixing them in. I know DJs who are my age who haven't got the balls to do that. But it was all down to, of course, my amazing teaching, of course, but it was all down to me choosing very carefully. And of course, I've got every single DJ system you can possibly imagine here. I've got every standalone, every laptop controller, every microcontroller. I've got every single software, Tractor, Serato, Recordbox, DJ Pro, you name it. I've got the lot. I've got standalone, I've got laptop, etc., etc. So I just looked around and we tried a couple of things with her, but we settled on that. So honestly, if you've got a real technophobe, if you are a technophobe or you're advising a technophobe, as Jason is, the Mixstream Pro is a great choice. It's about, I think it's about 500 or 600 to buy, so it's not the cheapest, but what you then gain in ease of use is stunning, absolutely stunning. I really, really love that unit. So that's what I would advise. I've actually got some good news for you as well, because in 2 weeks' time, Steve Canuetto, co-tutor here at Digital DJ Tips with me and myself, are coming into this very studio, and we're going to record a set of lessons, a mini course, a free mini course for everyone watching this, about vinyl to digital. How to go from, I know what I'm doing on this, but I haven't got any idea about this. We're going to record a set of 3 or 4 lessons that are just for you. They're for the older DJ who knows how it's done. You know what you want to play, you know the music, you know what your heroes are, you know exactly what you want to do, but you're faced with this kind of thing and you're thinking, oh my God, where the hell am I going to start? And we're going to cover everything. We're going to cover music, mixing, and the technical side of it all as well. So that's coming up. So keep an eye out for that. That will be coming up around the end of September, towards the end of September. Keep an eye on our channels. We're looking forward to that one. We were planning it today, in fact. Jason, thank you for the question there. And I hope that you can advise your friend accordingly. And of course, if they do want to go down the laptop route, then I've already advised. I think the DDJ Flex 4 from Pioneer is a great controller, but you need a laptop and your friend's only got an Android phone. So that would definitely be the way I would go. How are we doing, everyone? Are we enjoying the live Q&A? If you've just tuned in, it is a live Q&A. We've got a new live bug in the top corner to tell you that. It is me, Phil Morse, here in the Digital DJ Tips studio, talking DJing. Whatever you need help with, you know, we normally teach in our courses and in our lessons and in our community and in our Digital DJ Lab training program and all that paid for stuff. But we also go live as often as we can, usually on a Thursday, with an Ask Me Anything style show like this, where I literally have the channel open here and I'm taking all of your questions directly on my laptop from YouTube, from Facebook, from Twitch, wherever you want to ask them. So please do ask away. And if you don't get your question answered, then please just come a little bit earlier next week. But a little tip for you as well. So of course, we are a DJ school. One of the things we offer as a DJ school is this kind of session, but where we guarantee that every question gets answered every time. I mean, we guarantee it. That's the whole point of it. So that is for anyone who buys anything that we sell. Basically, we have got DJ courses for all types of DJ, for beginners all the way up to pros. So go to digitaldjtips.com, go to that homepage that you can see on your screen now, scroll down. The best place to start is our complete DJ course for most DJs most of the time. So you can find out all about that there. But then you can scroll down and look at our other courses, mixing courses, courses that will teach you to produce music, courses that will teach you about being a mobile DJ specifically, or scratching specifically, or for particular pieces of DJ or production software. We've got all this stuff for you to look at, and when you buy any of those, you get access to those chat sessions that are like this one, but much smaller. You know, we're talking about a few dozen people and not thousands. So your question will get answered. So a little tip there. When you're ready to take it up a gear, you get that access to me as part of being a Digital DJ Tips course owner. Let's go grab another question. Lovely, lots of support going on for the people saying they are playing gigs soon from the community. So thank you for helping out and for bigging up the people who are starting to worry that their gigs are getting close. I mean, it happens, that's the motivator. We were talking about that earlier, weren't we? So let's grab another one then. This one is from No Tengo Estilo. That's definitely Spanish. Even my poor Spanish tells me that No Tengo Estilo is I do not have style. Anyway, I'm sure you do, No Tengo Estilo, who says, hello everyone, thankfully in English. Hello everyone. Thank you for all the tips tricks and reviews, you're very welcome. Do you think that Rane or Pioneer stroke Alpha Theta will launch any new battle mixer anytime soon? So if you don't know what a battle mixer is a mixer that's designed a little bit like one of these. This is a battle mixer, as is that one up there actually, that I was talking to you about earlier. But this is a modern battle mixer. They're made for scratch DJs, right? So what makes a battle mixer different to a normal mixer, if you like? This is a normal mixer. A normal mixer is designed to do all kinds of mixing duties, right? This could be used to do all kinds of things in a DJ booth. It's a master of nothing but a jack of everything, right? Jack of all trades. It's got controls that let you reconfigure and do all kinds of stuff, but it's busy, right? Look down here. We've got these buttons and we've got all this stuff right near the crossfader, and there's 4 channels and all this stuff. This one here is very different. This one here is very, look, if I was to cover up, which I can't do because I've got nothing to cover it up with, but if I was to cover up from there upwards, look at the bottom half of this mixer. Look how clean that is. There's nothing there. It's acres of open space. And that's because a battle mixer is another way of describing a scratch mixer for scratch DJs. So scratch DJs, one hand is scratching, but the other hand is doing all the clever stuff on the faders, right? So you need this space around here so you're not accidentally knocking things that you're not meant to be touching. Also though, it's got other features which tend to be typical on, not always, but tend to be typical on these kinds of mixers. They have paddle effects, and paddle effects are very easy to flick in and out, right? It's different to having effects that you dial in, maybe like on this unit here. The effects are all dialed in at the top. It's a little bit harder to do stuff very quickly on the effects on a standard piece of DJ gear. So the effects are very easy to knock in and out here. Because these tend to control DJ software nowadays as well, they are also like a controller, because it's got controller pads here. You can see the pads are on the mixer, whereas on this unit here, the pads are down here. Pads are underneath the decks, right? The mixer hasn't got anything to do with pads. On this mixer over here, there's no pads, but on this, there certainly are. And that's because this would normally be paired with a pair of turntables. And of course, turntables don't have any controls for your loops and your cues and all the other stuff you can do on pads. They're just turntables, right? The turntables control the software with special timecode vinyl, and your mixer that sits in the middle is where you control that software alongside what the turntables are doing, right? So this is a battle mixer. This is a modern battle mixer. This is the Pioneer DJ, DJM S7. And your question is, are any of the big names, as far as you know, Phil, going to be coming out with a new one of these anytime soon? I don't think so. I think the most likely to do so, let me just put that away, would potentially be that is slipping towards the floor. It's still slipping towards the floor. Yo! Oh, it stopped. Stopped before it fell. And now it's not moving. So I'm going to leave it. The most likely to do one would be Pioneer DJ or Alpha Theta, I think, because they've got new technology. They've got STEMS technology now in their software. And potentially, if they were to do one that worked with their software, then they would want to incorporate some kind of way of controlling that. But even Pioneer DJ, Alpha Theta, who have their own software record box, their battle mixers tend to work with Serato, which is the kind of standard for scratch DJs. So I just don't think it's going to be coming soon. They all updated their ranges a few years ago, and nothing's really changed. So I can't see any situation, I mean, famous last words, but when they update those, I don't think there's anything to update, to be honest. So probably not. We haven't talked about Serato, have we? This time a year ago, there was the bombshell that Alpha Theta stroke Pioneer DJ were trying to buy Serato, and then we find out a few weeks ago, that they failed, that the Monopolies and Mergers Commissions, or whatever they're called in the various countries, mainly New Zealand, which is where Serato is based, said that it was off. They weren't going to sanction it. So it didn't happen. So if you've got any views on that or questions about that, please do share. I would love to gossip about that as well. Right, let's go grab another one from the live chat then. So thank you for that one, No Tengo Estilo. Let's go to Dave, who says, thank you for the book. So I presume you've got it. I only started DJing recently. I had my first gig last weekend after a week of practice. Reading the book didn't tell me an awful lot that I didn't know, but it did provide me with more confidence. I love it. That's what it's all about. I always say the point of training is not always to give you reams and reams and reams of stuff that you didn't know before. It's to gently reinforce that what you know is okay, what you know is enough, and you're okay to go forward. I mean, a week of practice and then straight into DJing in front of other people. I'm guessing you already had some kind of knowledge there, but well done, Dave. You've done one of the best things that you can do, which is play in front of other people early. So many people say, I've been DJing for 3 or 4 years at home, and in a couple of years, I think I'm going to be ready to play out. Like, duh. That's not what DJing's about. You don't learn DJing at home. You learn what that does and what that does and what that does and what's going to happen when you do that. That's what you learn at home. You don't have a clue what they are going to do when you do that because you've never had the balls to DJ in front of them. You need to get in front of real people and do it. That's when you learn. This stuff is just there to help you do that. This stuff is just there to do the things that this decides you should be doing. But this hasn't got a clue what you should be doing until you're in front of them. So get out in public. Don't wait. Get out, do what Dave did. Get out there after a week. For some people, a week might be a little bit ambitious, but I'd rather a week than 5 years because you're going to learn more every time you play in public than I could ever teach you. I'm telling you the truth. So well done, Dave. Thank you for sharing that. So now let's go to Stevie B on YouTube, who says, what I want to know is whether that Reloop Mixtour Pro, or I've already got it down somewhere, there it is, works well with Apple and Mac devices. And will it work? Oh no, it does currently work with Apple and Mac, you're saying. Will it work with Windows and Android in the future? I would be surprised if this doesn't work, if, as you say, with Windows, although actually now I think about it, because I haven't reviewed it yet, I'm not kind of like up to speed with it. You could be right because the algorithm software that it works with possibly is not yet enabled for this on Windows. I would imagine they'll do that quite soon. With Android, bets are off. Android is not a good platform for DJ software and for music, unfortunately. I'd imagine it'll come to Windows soon enough. Virtual DJ will probably have that working on Windows before Algorithm does. There's my little guess there. Thank you for that. A lot of you asking about what new gear we happen to know about that might be coming up at ADE, the Amsterdam Dance event, which happens quite soon, or at the NAMM show in January. Nothing I can share with you folks. You Don't Like My Music says, I hope you had a good summer, but I had hip surgery. Well, at least you've had it done now, right? That's gone. So well done, You Don't Like My Music. You've got it, it's water under the bridge. So Joe says, and I'm not belittling that, I know it's an upheaval and a half for sure. My dad has had both of his hips done and I got told I needed to have hip surgery at some point in the future, and I just told the surgeon, no I don't, and started running a lot, and it seems to have put it into check, but who knows what the future holds. Anyway, Joe says, Joe Tears on YouTube, when I DJ on Pioneer CDJs, my loops on the next track aren't in line with the running track. It keeps moving forward and is not in sync. So this could be because your beat grids are not right. And so there's lots of reasons why that could work, but I imagine it's the beat grids. You can manually correct on CDJs the loop. So if you set a loop, then it's possible to hold the adjust button, which is one of these, and then move this so that you can adjust the in or the out point on that loop to get it nice and tight. Might be worth experimenting with that as well. Although obviously without seeing your exact issue, I'm not sure what's going on there, Joe. But I hope that helps. Hope you find some way of playing with those things and seeing if they kind of improve it. Okay, let's go grab a question from this is from Evans, who says, this stream looks very good. I wonder what he's using. He's here, Evans, and I can tell you what I'm using. Oh, Evans Fly Fishing. So you're on a company account, right? Yeah, you're not called Evans at all. I get it. What are we using to do this stream? Well, you've probably seen my hands gravitating down here every time the camera changes. We're using a ATEM Mini Extreme ISO, which is basically a hardware box that lets me control all the cameras that you're seeing. We've got the main camera here, or the big wide camera there, the main camera there, then we've got the overhead camera there, we've got the shoulder camera here, which is the one that I use for these kind of like showing you things close up like that, and we've got the back camera, so I can talk about whatever we've got here, and then we've got the camera over here on the main Pro setup. Plus I've got feeds for the comments coming in here, but that could also be the website and so on. It's just a feed straight to the laptop. I've even got video. Look, there's a video countdown on there that I could trigger should I want to. And so this is all plugged into that little unit. And the beauty about that little unit is it's got a output on it that goes straight to the internet. So this isn't plugged into any computer. We've got the production computers over there, the two computers that we edit stuff on. I've got my DJ computer here, which I'm currently using for the comments, but I could turn all of these off and this would still be live on the internet, right? So it keeps everything nice and separate, and it keeps me nice and calm, because I don't like being live when the computers that are being used for other things are also being used to get our stream out. It's an expensive setup because the cameras are all DSLR cameras with custom lenses that are chosen for every angle. But we've been doing this for 15 years, right? You don't need this stuff. In fact, I've got a review coming up of a set of cameras that will cost you about $1,000 by a company called Nearstream, that basically is a battery powered portable version of what I've just described to you. And it's quite intriguing. If you've ever seen the Mevo cameras, which we've talked about before on this channel, it's like that, but the lenses and the quality are an awful lot better, but the price isn't much higher. So I've got that stuff sat in my hallway at home, waiting to be brought to the studio. Well, I say brought to the studio, they're only tiny. Waiting to be brought to the studio, and that's another review that's coming up soon, because I want to show people that they can live stream music and they can go live on Twitch and so on, and have stuff like this where they've got all the camera angles and it all looks nice without really spending an awful lot of money. I mean, obviously, again, $1,000 is a lot of money, but we're looking at $15,000 here, right? So it's nowhere near that kind of price. So thanks, Evans Fly Fishing, for being interested in our setup. People often ask that question. The other thing people often ask is, what's that stand that you've got there, Phil? It looks really good. I want one for my laptop. And so if you are interested in that, so many people ask this that we've actually got a URL. So go to djtips.co/stand. djtips.co/stand, and you will see a link to this stand that I'm using here. I'm going to take one more question now because we've run out of time. Thank you very much to everyone, and I know we haven't answered anywhere near all the questions. It's always the way that it works, but we do try our hardest to get to as many as we can. So let's just try and pick something that's a little bit different to what we've already been doing. This is from Ricky, who says, I'm doing a party for 100 people. I'd like to know a beginner speaker system to purchase. Thank you. Okay, so the first thing is, don't use the speakers that you're using at home for parties. I've got these lovely speakers here that we use in the studio from IK Multimedia. They're lovely, they're loud, they're great for DJing in the studio or at home. But if you take them, and they're actually the bigger version of these ones that I was talking to you about. You shouldn't take any studio monitor, any speaker designed for home with you to play with at a party, for loads of reasons, but just trust me, it's a bad idea. So you're going to need PA speakers. You're going to need speakers that have got the power to handle what you're doing, but also that are not likely to become damaged physically or electrically by you going a bit crazy at a party. Everyone goes crazy at parties. If it goes up to 11, it will. So you need proper speakers that are designed for the purpose, right? So a rule of thumb, and it's just a rough rule of thumb, is multiply the number of people who you know you're going to be playing for by 5 if it's an indoor event, or 10 if it's an outdoor event. So if you're playing for 100 people and it's indoors, multiply that by 5. You need a 500 watt PA system. So that's your first thing, right? If you're looking for narrowing it down, that's your first number that you need to arrive at. I would say you're looking at 2 tops, and the tops are the kind of speakers that are a bit like this one here. I've got a couple up here, just as an example. here we go. So this is an Alpha Theta Wave 4. I think these are called from memory. It's the only one they do anyway. So these are called tops. The reason these are called tops is that they're the middle range frequencies and the top end frequencies. That cone at the very top there, where my chin is giving you the, and that speaker at the bottom is giving you everything else. So these are going to go on a pole because you want to get them to ear height, and you're going to want 2 speakers like this normally. So then your next question is, do you need anything else? Well, it depends on the sound quality that you're looking to get and how many people you've got. I think having at least one subwoofer, which is the speaker that sits on the floor that provides just bass, is a really good idea. I think at least one is a great idea, especially if you're playing dance music and so on, because it just gives you that oomph that you feel in your stomach. You ain't going to get that from a pair of those. So at least one of those. Now the good thing about those speakers is that they don't need to be from the same brand or anything. They just need to be one unit that you can put on the floor, and then the pole that you are using to get your top speaker high up can go in that speaker. When you're in a shop looking at this stuff, you can have a pole that goes in that speaker and then the other one goes on top. I'm sure you've seen that kind of setup. You can even have 2. You can even have 2 subwoofers with a pole coming out of each and a top on each. You don't need to do that straight off. You don't need to do that at all straight off. You can just have a couple of speakers like that. So 500 watts, at least 2, possibly with 1 subwoofer, and later on maybe even 2 subwoofers would be my ideal setup for that kind of thing. I like these little wave speakers from Alpha Theta. They're all right, but there's a lot of other names out there. The only other thing I would advise you is don't go super cheap. If you see something where the spec looks the same as something else, but this one costs 3 times as much as this one, be wary of this one, because corners have been cut, and you know, if you buy something too cheap, you'll probably end up buying the expensive one down the line anyway when something goes wrong with this one. And when it comes to individual brands, it often depends on where you are in the world and what's available, because tend to have different companies in Europe to Asia to America and so on. But hopefully that's some advice there that will push you in the right direction. Right, I've got to go now. Thank you very much everyone for coming to this first Thursday Q&A live back after the break. It's been a pleasure to get back into the swing of it with you. Do look out for that vinyl to digital video series coming towards the end of the month. We're really looking forward to bringing that one to you. And do go take a look at the Digital DJ Tips website, especially if you're new to all of this. You might have noticed that we've got a nice flash new homepage, which is live, but also there's an awful lot on here that if you're new to us, you probably don't know about. We've got a big DJ news section where you can keep up to date with what's happening in the world of DJing. We've got the best gear reviews section anywhere on the web, including an interactive gear finder that will let you drill down to exactly what it is you're looking for. And we've got loads of free training that will teach you all kinds of things without spending a penny on any of our courses. And we've also got recordings of all these live lessons that you are currently watching one of as well, that all appear in here. And as I said earlier, you can read our book. Also, there's our podcast, which you'll find at the very bottom of our website. Click on there. It'll take you through to our podcast series, which is also starting again, having had a summer break very soon. But you can go listen back on all the previous podcasts that we've had, and there's quite a few of them there if you want something to listen to while you're cooking your dinner tonight. Meanwhile, from me, Phil, here in the studio, get good, get out there, make the moments. I'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye for now.